Seema, why do you look like an absolute hippie? Dude, do you know how hard it is to care all the time about how you look? It is literally like the hardest thing in the entire world, and I'm just not down for it right now, so you just go with it.
What's up? Okay, I could have put a lot more effort into how I look in this video, but I'm just not gonna do that. It doesn't matter, dude, and I don't even know why I'm kind of making this like disclaimer, but I mean, okay, I do look like birds live on top of me, and I do have bleach stains on my shirt, but it doesn't matter. So just enjoy the message behind this video, and I will see you on the flip side. I don't know. Bye.
The entirety of the book is Krishna, the prophet or the Lord Krishna, explaining the modes of material nature to his close disciple and counterpart Arjuna. And on page 546, Krishna begins to discuss the three modes of material nature. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes, the three modes of material nature are the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance, and the mode of goodness. When the embodied being is able to transcend these three modes associated with the material body, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. Arjuna inquired, "O my dear Lord, by which symptoms is one known who is transcendental to these three modes?" So basically, what are the symptoms of somebody that is transcendent? What is his behavior, and how does he transcend the modes of nature? In this verse, Arjuna's questions are very appropriate. He wants to know the symptoms of a person who has already transcended the material modes. First inquires of the symptoms of such a transcendental person. How can one understand that he has already transcended the influence of the modes of material nature, right? The ones that are constantly affecting us: birth, death, old age, passion, greed, ignorance, envy, happiness, excitement, anything that has to do with our soul's interaction with the material, the physical, right? So how can one understand that he has already transcended the influence of the modes? The second question asks how he lives and what his activities are. Are they regulated or non-regulated? Then Arjuna inquires of the means by which he can attain the transcendental nature, right? And why is it important to attain this? Well, because when we attain this transcendental bliss, we become unfazed by all of the ups and downs of life and its trivialities. Unless one knows the direct means by which one can situate always transcendentally, there is no possibility of showing the symptoms. So all these questions put by Arjuna are very important, and the Lord answers them. So again, the three questions were, what are the symptoms of someone who is enlightened, essentially? What is his behavior and day-to-day activities? And how does one transcend the modes of nature? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "O son of Pandu, he who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present," right? Illumination, so mode of goodness; attachment, mode of passion; and delusion, mode of ignorance, right? He speaks extremely eloquently and precisely and concisely. He who does not hate illumination, attachment, and delusion when they are present, or long for them when they disappear, who is unwavering and undisturbed through all these reactions of the material qualities, remaining neutral and transcendental, knowing that the modes alone are active, right? The modes of material nature are active, not the personality. The personality or the soul is simply being put through all the trials and tribulations of these modes of nature. The soul is being acted upon, right? So, one who knows that the modes alone are active, one who is situated in the self and regards alike happiness and distress, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is equal towards the desirable and the undesirable, who is steady, situated equally well in praise and blame, honor and dishonor, who treats alike both friend and enemy, and who has renounced all material activities. Such a person is said to have transcended the modes of nature. When a living entity stays in this material world, embodied by the material body, it is to be understood that he is under the control of one of the three modes of material nature. When he is actually out of the body, then he is out of the clutches of the material modes of nature. But as long as he is not out of the material body, he should be neutral. He should engage himself in the devotional service of the Lord so that his identity with the material body will automatically be forgotten. When one is conscious of the material body, he acts only for sense gratification. But when one transfers the consciousness to Krishna, sense gratification automatically stops. One does not need this material body, and he does not need to accept the dictations of the material body. The qualities of the material modes in the body will act, right? Passion, ignorance, and goodness. But as spirit soul, the self is aloof from such activities. How does he become aloof? He does not desire to enjoy the body, nor does he desire to get out of it. Thus transcendentally situated, the devotee becomes automatically free. He need not try to become free from the influence of the modes of material nature. So essentially, what this paragraph is explaining is that as long as we are alive in the material world, our souls cannot actually become free from the modes of material nature, from the impact of this materialism. However, what we can do is sit in complete transcendence. Again, who looks upon a lump of earth, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who judges every single individual and situation and emotion and cause and effect as neutral. To have complete control over one's own mind is to transcend. The next question concerns the dealings of a transcendentally situated person. The materially situated person is affected by so-called honor and dishonor offered to the body, but the transcendentally situated person is not affected by such false honor and dishonor. He performs his duty in Krishna consciousness and does not mind whether a man honors or dishonors him. He accepts things that are favorable for his duty in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, he has no necessity of anything material, either a stone or gold. He takes everyone as his dear friend who helps him in his execution of Krishna consciousness, and he does not hate his so-called enemy. He is equally disposed and sees everything on an equal level, because he knows perfectly well that he has nothing to do with material existence, right? Complete abandonment of the illusion of control, basically. And then in conclusion, it says, one who engages in full devotional service, unfeeling in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature, and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Brahman in Hindu or Sanskrit terminology directly translates to the ultimate reality underneath all working phenomena, underneath every single thing in this life that is considered to be true or ultimate or real. So the verse that I just read, one who engages in full devotional service, unfeeling in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman, right? This verse responds to Arjuna's third question, what is the means of attaining to the transcendental position? One should also note that all the forms of Krishna are fully transcendental, blissful, full of knowledge, and eternal. Such personalities of Godhead are omnipotent and omniscient. What? Oh God, not another one. Omnipotent and omniscient. Omniscient? So I know that omnipotent means all-powerful, and then omniscient means all-knowing, but I just don't know how to say the word omniscient. Omniscient. It's omniscient. Yeah. Anyway, such personalities of Godhead are omnipotent and omniscient, and they possess all transcendental qualities. So if one engages himself in the service of Krishna, or his plenary expansions with unfailing determination, although these modes of material nature are very difficult to overcome, one can overcome them easily. Through acts of devotional service, Because we are inherently worshiping the divine in all of its expansion, right? That includes even other people, right? Other souls, other jivas. We are, in a sense, the whole of the cosmos is an expansion of Krishna, right? Or Vishnu, or Rama, or Narayana. And with Vishnu being the primary source of incarnations, right? But in a sense, when we practice bhakti yoga, we are bestowing complete, wholehearted, devotional service, right? From the heart, right? So, complete disillusion of the ego self, right? And instead embracing our oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and also our inferior position to Him and His transcendental nature. We, as human beings, are so distracted by every single thing in our lives that fuel our ego selves, right? We are so callous. We are so hard and unfeeling to the soul self, to the true self. And that is because we are constantly being bombarded with all sorts of messages that distract us from truth. And look at what we hanker after. Popularity, fame, fortune, every single thing that feeds our ego self, right? So that's why when we perform good deeds out of the goodness of our heart, we are touched in a different way. There is nothing else in this material life that can serve us other than the bliss that we get when we serve others. It's a different type of fulfillment, right? So it's saying here in the Gita, serve others, yes, but most importantly is to serve the eternal, right? It also says here in, I don't know where it says it, honestly, to the individual person, the mind can either be the greatest asset, one's best friend, or one's worst enemy. So how does one make it their best friend? By training it. So servitude is the real answer here, right? And it is saying, yes, serve other souls, see everyone as equal, etc. But first is to serve the eternal, the transcendental, the blissful. And when we begin to see all of creation, right, nature, other people, circumstances, places, ideas, phenomenon, as an expansion of this source, as a part and parcel of the source, right, as drops in the ocean of source, we very clearly see that this eternal, this source, this Krishna, is everywhere. It is situated in the souls of people. Matma in Sanskrit means soul, and Paramatma means the super soul. Everywhere we look, we see Matma, right? Drops, just constant drops. But collectively, when you put all of those drops in a bucket, the bucket overflows because creation is uncontainable. Energy is never created or destroyed, right? It's only transferred. So because this creation is uncontainable, we can refer to the entirety of it as being a limitless ocean, right? Metaphorically. And that is source. Creation in itself is both expansive and containable. Let me explain. It's expansive because creation breeds creation, right? We as human beings have the ability to create things, people, ideas, etc. Expansion is also contained because that which has expanded will eventually contract, laws of physics. And in the Sri Brahma Samhita, it actually explains how Brahma created the entire universe, but that's another story. So anyway, in the age of Kali Yuga, the easiest and most attainable way to reach complete transcendence, complete enlightenment, complete bliss that has nothing to do with happiness or unhappiness, satisfaction or dissatisfaction, but rather the complete act of being able to live in one's own truth, is most easily attained through devotional service. That's all the time I have today. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will definitely be speaking more about the different types of devotional service and all that stuff in a later video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.